Yo, yep. What's going on, crew? Get everybody in here. Oh man, did I see Jordan in here?
You did.
Jordan, what's up, man? How are you?
Pretty good. Had some time, so I was like, I saw Stubbs post something and I was like, okay, cool.
Nice, man. It's good to see you. You're currently looking for a part-time setter role, right?
Potentially full time.
Okay. I got a couple ideas in mind for you on that. So we can discuss that one
Yeah,
offline if you want.
totally.
Sweet. Right on. What's up, Luke? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? You just hanging in the kitchen today?
No, so I'm actually where we did the company offsite a couple of weeks ago. I'm actually back there, so I'm in that kitchen where we did the offsite.
Ah, okay. Got it. Is the fridge stocked at all or
Uh,
what?
I'm sure it is, man. There's not a chance it's not stocked.
Nice.
Right on, sweet. Is Andreas in here with you today or no?
Yeah, Andres, you here?
Oh yeah, he is. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm
Get
in here. Sorry. I'm just putting in some notes.
all good. Gareth, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. How's it going?
Right on, sweet. Ethan, good to meet you. How you doing?
Good to meet you too. This is my first call with you.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you. Looks like Adolfo just jumped in the waiting room too. Sweet. Dylan, how you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How are you?
Easy, yeah.
Yeah, is that my Wi-Fi?
He cut out for me too.
Okay, all right. I was like, oh man, not my Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Sweet. Right on, crew. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Right on, sweet. Right on, crew.
Fantastic for a Monday, brother.
Nice, nice. I like it. Sweet. Adolfo, what's up, man? How are you?
Great, brother. Good, doing great. Good to see you all.
Right on. Sweet. So topic of conversation was let me get the exact wording that we were using for this one is the thing keeping you from reaching your goal. Right. So first off, before I just start shooting blanks here, I don't know anybody's goals, and I'm gonna just claim that this is what's stopping your goal. I'd want to hear it. So I would like everybody to drop your financial goal inside of the chat. What you want to be making in a month's time as an appointment setter. Luke, 10K, yep. 12, 12, yep. 10, right on. 8, yep. Is that 8 Canadian, Jordan?
No, that's a million Canadian. Eight.
Yeah,
8K.
yeah, yeah, right on. 5K in 30 days, 10 in 90, right on, Emmett. I like that. 7 to 10, Ethan, cool. Gareth, 10, sweet, yeah. So we're all talking about 10K a month. And who here is currently on a team? If you're currently on an appointment setting team, drop a 1 in the chat. Sweet. Cool. Adolfo, Dylan, Luke. Sweet. All right, cool. So Luke, tell me how many dials a day are you doing right now?
Right now, on average, between like 40 to 60 dials a day.
Okay. And what do you think it is that's stopping you from hitting 10K a month?
Um, I could be doing more imports for sure, but I think it's the like actual sets that I'm putting up. I went through my data last month and my set to close was 11%. And I need that to be like 20% with like our current volume to be able to hit as many closes as 10K a month is.
Okay. And do you know why it is that you're setting so many unqualified people?
Um, well, it's like they're qualified in a sense. Like the show rate was like it was in the orange, like 74% show rate. Um, Let me just pull this up so I know exactly. But the short answer is I think a lot of them are qualified.
Yeah. Did you ever see that meme I dropped where it's Adam Sandler like crying and he's like, it's like when the closer tells the setter that cash on hand or credit, and the setter's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 72% show rate, 74% offer rate. So there's some DQs in there, and 21% offer to close.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so here's something that took me like this is part of the reason why I developed this program, guys, is because I wanted you to be able to overcome the hurdles that I had to on the way to 10K a month much faster than I did. And I was an appointment setter for about 2 years before I ever hit my first 10K month. And there was one really big thing that made that difference. And it's the stance that you take. If you're getting on the phones and you're just begging and hoping to set people in an appointment, the way that you come to that call is completely different. Okay. Now, there's plenty of setters. Like I've had setters on my teams that have hit 15K in their first month before. And generally that can be because of the offer, the type of leads they're getting, all that kind of stuff. But for me specifically, you could almost say too that I was kind of, I started appointment setting when like Noah got off the ark, right? Like when appointment setting first started to become a thing, I was amongst the first couple of appointment setters in the high ticket space when this concept was being developed. And I didn't know the difference between a good offer, a bad offer. I didn't understand the marketing. I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have that work ethic. I get it. There were so many things that I didn't have. But one thing that made a light switch change for me is the stance that you take about the product that you're selling. Okay. If you believe what you're selling is actually the best thing since sliced bread, if you believe the thing that you're selling is something that if the price was 10x what it currently is, it would still be worth it. If you hold that belief, the way that you show up on your calls is so much different, where you're actually truly qualifying them versus you're on the phone with them hoping that they're qualified so you can set them in an appointment. You're way more direct, you're way more stern with who you're willing to set. And that to actual buyers makes a really big impact, because when you're talking to people that are like, not that serious, and you have to disqualify them, and you're disqualifying, and then you get on the phone with somebody that's actually really good and they can kind of sense like, oh, this person just sets everybody that they talk to, right? And they get this kind of feel that like, oh, like this person just tries to set every single person that just is slightly above these standards. The value of your words is not that high, right? Versus if you're very strict on who you're willing to set, and then you get on the phone with someone that's actually good, they can tell. The people that actually have the money, that they will be able to tell, believe me, by that stance that you're taking in your calls. Okay. So this is one of the reasons why I talk about the book, Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff. And if you haven't gotten it recommended to me, you've probably been recommended to you from one of my coaches. It has changed a lot of people's lives reading that book. And for the reason why it helps you alter and understand how to make a different stance in your calls. Okay. So if you haven't read that book, it's really important. But if you don't know why you should be reading it, it's so then you can change the stance and when you operate in that call. Right. So for instance, something I would say in most every single one of my set calls was, hey, look, we don't sell this to just everybody with their credit card. We're really particular about the people who we're willing to choose to work with to help them achieve this outcome. This isn't something where we're willing to just like sign someone on and drag them up the mountain to success. This is something you're going to have to put in work. You could go do this on your own. It'll take probably 5 to 10 times as long. You probably won't be as successful. You probably won't make as much money, or you can use a proven pathway that makes it a lot easier for you to get from where you're at now to where you want to be with a lot more success and a lot less road bumps. And so it's like, it's up to you. You want to do this on your own, or you want to do this where you have a guiding help, right? And also think about this too, is it does change somebody's situation. Like when I said that, I really did truly mean it, because sometimes people would say, well, what do you mean by like, you don't just sell everybody with a credit card? And I'm like, well, look, here's the thing is, let's say you're in a desperate situation financially and you try to fly through the course. Would you say that you're really going to absorb the most amount of value from the course then? And they'd say no. And I'm like, yeah. And have you ever seen a guy chase after a girl and they're really desperate and they're really needy and they scare that girl off? Yeah, well, that's the same thing that will happen. You'll try to fly through the course, you won't get as much value. You'll try to slam as much stuff together as quickly as possible, and it won't go off as well, and you won't get as good results. And then the last thing is let's say you are going to be taking closed calls to some extent or set calls to some extent. Well, when you get on the phones with those people, you're going to be desperate to set them, desperate to close them, and it's going to scare those people off as well. So your results from A to Z are going to be terrible if you have to fall into a financially difficult, destitute situation to do this. So that's why we're very particular on who we're willing to work with, because we only want to work with people who we know we can get great results for. And if you have to fall into that bucket, like that's not going to be great for your results. So let's say this is a perfect 10 out of 10 fit for you. Financial situation is just a little bit tough. What we can do is we can work together to come up with a solution to where you can have a custom payment plan with us, so it doesn't put you in that mindset, so you can get through this and get the most out of it. So that's why we're pretty particular about who we're willing to work with. And when I said that, I freaking meant it. Like there was a ton of people where I would be like, I don't think this is good for you. Like, I don't think it makes sense for you to speak to a coach. And they would beg me. They'd have to beg me to get a call with a closer for me at that point. Now, wouldn't you guys rather have people get on the phones and really want an appointment from you rather than you guys have to like arm wrestle someone into wanting that appointment? That's what changes when you change that stance. And that's why I talk about it all the time. We could go through that whole book, Pitch Anything by Warren Clapp, but that will be a big game changer when it comes to using that principle specifically. Okay. So the idea is you want them to chase you. You don't want to chase them. Right. And so there's certain things that you can say and certain questions you can ask to align them with that. So Luke, that's like the first thing that I would say, is because I know you've set like some, I've been in your Slack and I have seen
Hey.
some appointments you've set, and I'm like, brother, what are you doing, man? So I would say the number one thing for you is to change that stance from which you operate from. That'll be one of the biggest shifts.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing there too is, why only 40 to 60 dials a day?
I mean, it's changed a lot recently with IG shoutouts. So like the main majority of the day is like in the Instagram DMs opposed to like outbound dialing. And so that's probably the best answer I have for you. The other answer is the dialer still isn't set up, so we're having to manually dial, which takes forever. So those are probably the two reasons.
Okay. All right. I could see that kind of making sense, but like I just want everybody's like expectations on this to like to align here, is that generally it's the top 1 to 10% of setters that can actually make like 20K a month. And I mean, like there's plenty of appointment setters that can make 20K a month, but I don't like to come on here and promise everybody, hey, you're gonna make 20K a month as a setter, because that is the absolute top 1%. Okay, I've made 20K a month as a setter. I know Ethan Cardina has, Ethan E has. There's a lot of people that I personally, Caitlin Scott, Mate Parisi, like I could go on about setters that I know that have hit 20K months, but they are literally the top 1% setters. Okay. Then there's this gap of around 40 to 50% of people that actually can hit 10K months. That is a very, very high probability, right? Then that last separation gap of that last like 30 to 40 people there, 30 to 40% of people there, those are the people that lack the skill set and they lack the knowledge to know how to find the best offers or have access to getting onto the best offers, right? And so generally that's where you don't want to fall, right? You don't want to fall in that last like 40% bucket where you don't know how to find the right offer and you don't have the right skill set, because there's plenty of setters I know that were on the absolute right offer where all the rest of the setters are hitting 10K a month and they're hitting 5K a month. And they're like, I don't know what's wrong. And I'm like, well, it's probably your skill set. And they're not willing to swallow that pill. They're not willing to believe that it's their skill set is the issue. Right. And so that's one of the things that I don't know if everybody knows this, but my developers are working on a calculator for us. We're going to have 2 different calculators, hopefully by the end of this week, that you guys are going to be able to use. And one of the calculators, you're going to be able to put in the metrics of the company, and it's going to be able to tell you on a scale of 1 through 100 how good of an opportunity that is. Right. The second calculator I'm going to give you guys is one where you're going to be able to put in your performance metrics, the company's performance metrics, and it's going to tell you whether it's a skill set issue or an offer issue stopping you from hitting that 10K a month. All right. So there's a lot of math that goes into that, obviously. And I want to make sure we get it just right. I don't want people to have like bad information and be like, oh, it's the offer I'm on, when in reality it's not. More than 80% of the time, what I find is the reason why people don't hit 10K a month is lack of training and skill set. And that could be a whole lot of things. Like maybe there's no appointment setter manager, there's just a closer manager, and you don't get too much help and support from the closer manager. You know, there could be a whole lot of things within that, right? And so that's specifically why I want to make sure you guys have the knowledge and the skill set to where you can actually hit that. Because these days, if I chose to right now stop working on the business, stop working on setter to closer and go be a setter, I could make 10K a month in my sleep as a setter. I know it. Like I know it beyond the shadow of a doubt. And I know that all of you here are capable of doing it. I believe in each and every single one of you. One of those reasons why I believe so much in each and every single one of you is just because you took the opportunity to invest in yourselves, right? You didn't say, oh, it's the offer I'm on, it's not my skill set, so I'm just going to offer hop for the next 3 years. That's not going to result in that 10K a month either, right? One fact about this too, guys, is most appointment setters I see hit 10K months need 60 to 90 days on the offer, right? 30 days to ramp up, start understanding how things work, getting faster, being able to have better sets, improving their show ratios. Then in that next 30 days, what happens is you start getting really good sets on the board. And then you start getting follow-up closes. And then when you're beyond that 90-day mark is where those follow-up closes start to happen. Your new sets are really great. You're really fast at a lot of things. And that's where that stuff kind of clicks in. Right now, there has been people that have hit 10K months in their first month, yes, but I don't want to talk to the top 10% right now. I want to speak to the 40 to 50%, the majority of people here, right? And so with the dial count, Luke, you know, I know that you guys are doing IG, DM shout outs and this and that and the other thing. If you had just leads to call, I would tell you need to be hitting 200 dials a day. If you want to make that a possibility and you want to make it a possibility sooner than later, you need 200 dials, right? And if you think about this, when I say 200 dials, I'm talking a double dial to each person. So that only means you reached out to only 100 people that day, right? And that only means that if you just reached out to 20 new people an hour, that's only 5 hours, right? And then if you do the math, though, if you do a double dial, leave a voicemail and send a text message, which you should do every single time. If you do the math on it, it'll take you about 50 minutes to do 25 dials an hour. So one thing that I noticed that a lot of people lack in is work ethic especially when they step into this space, because they're used to, oh, I have to show up at this time and I have to stay until this time. But then when you have control of your own calendar, you kind of get a little bit foggy there with like your work ethic value and like how much time to how much effort you put in. Most of the time people start attributing their tiredness to how much work ethic they put in. And that's not a good barometer to go off of. All right. So what I've generally mostly seen, the setters that are making 10K a month, they do 25 dials an hour and they get one set an hour. Right. And I used to do the same thing. I would take out my phone, I would set a timer for 60 minutes, and I'd say in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to get 25 dials and I'm going to get a set. And I would end the day getting 8 sets or more pretty easily. And I'd end up getting 200 dials a day pretty easily. Now, if you're new to this and you're thinking like 200 dials a day, like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. When you're brand new, it is a lot. Okay. When you first start going to the gym, you didn't put 2 full plates on that bench press and start like going at it, right? Like it's the same thing. You have to build up that mental strength. And so your first week, first couple days, you're probably only going to hit 50 to 100 dials a day, right? And that's fine. But what you want to do is you want to flex that muscle of your brain to be able to do 200 dials in a day where it doesn't take that much energy. My highest dial day ever it was like 430 dials in a day. And I did work like 13, 12 hours that day. That was not like no 8-hour day when I did that, right? But that day I did have, I think it was 27 appointments set, right? And that was a mixture between transferring people from IG DMs, from calling inbound leads, from calling database reactivation leads. It was a mixture of those things, right? And so if you want to make 10K months, it's going to require the actual work effort. It's going to require the actual skill set, right? And so with 40 to 60 dials a day, Luke, like I don't really know exactly what entails in the rest of what you're doing with the IGDMs, and maybe there's a bottleneck somewhere in your timing. But if you just had solely leads to call, that would be the target you'd want to be aiming for. All right.
Okay.
Like the only other setters that I have seen making 10K a month that aren't doing that is I talk about marketing funnels in the course where there is a form of low ticket buyer leads where a company will sell we'll use Warrior Babe, for instance, as an example. Warrior Babe sells a $25 macronutrient guide. Everybody that buys that macronutrient guide, they get a one-on-one Zoom call with an appointment setter. And that appointment setter goes over their goals, what they want. And then if they're like, hey, like, I want to achieve this goal faster, I want more help, I want more support, like, I want better results, then that appointment setter will set them in a call with one of the closers from there. If you're working with buyer leads, that is a very big leg up. That was going to give you guys a really big boost across the board because then you're only talking to people that had so much intent that they bought something from you guys. And then when they received that item, all that trust was given back to them because they're like, oh, these people didn't just run off to Mexico with my money, right? So when you're in an interview with these companies, one thing to really kind of examine is, and if you're asking questions like this, the interviewer is going to be like, oh man, like this person knows what they're doing and what they're talking about. And it always really impresses me when an appointment setter knows these types of questions, but asking what kind of lead magnet is it that you guys use? And there's a lot of different lead magnets, right? There is a free book funnel, right? Where there's this Airbnb offer by Brian Page. And the way they attract their leads is they give these people a free book on how to start an Airbnb business. And everybody that opts in through their ads get this free book. All the appointment setters call those people. And they're like, do you want a book or do you want like a one-on-one coach and you want a guarantee? Right. And then they set them in an appointment. That's one. There's a free book funnel, right? Then you've got low ticket buyer funnels where people will buy a low ticket product and then they get upgraded into the higher ticket product thing. The most common funnel, though, that you guys will probably most experience on some level or another is called a straight to booking VSL. VSL stands for video sales letter. And so what happens is if someone sees your ad on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, they click on that ad and it takes them to the VSL, the video sales letter. If you guys go to my Facebook, you can see mine in my bio. I put it right there in my bio. So if anybody wants to see it, go ahead and check it out, right? But essentially what happens is you click onto that, you can see the testimonials, you watch the video sales letter, and the idea of that video is to get people to book a call with you. Right. And so these businesses, they run ads and they get maybe 10 bookings a day and they get, 100 leads. And they're like, oh man, I have all these 100 other people that are interested in my product, but didn't book a call. What do I do? Oh, I should hire an appointment setter to call all those people. Right. And so that's where it creates the biggest gap and need for appointment setters is a straight to booking VSL. So more than likely, if a company's hiring appointment setters, it's because they have a straight to booking VSL is the most common. All right. So you got straight to booking VSL, you got a low ticket buyer lead, or you got the free book funnel. Now, the free book funnel, there can be different variations of this. For instance, I worked with a guy probably 5 years ago. His name is Rob Bailey, and he gave people a free course on a digital marketing agency. And this free course was 30 hours. And so what we would do is as the appointment setters, we'd reach out to these people and they would be requesting this free course from us. And we'd say, great, there's about 30 hours of content in there. If you tell me what the biggest challenge is with your company right now, I can point you in the right direction of where to start in that course. And they'd tell, oh, my biggest challenge is lead generation. Excuse me. My biggest challenge is lead generation. Okay, great. And how long have you been struggling with that? And what things have you done to try to do to fix that? And like, what is it that you really want? Right. And they go over goals and how much you really want to be doing and this and that and the other. And then you set them in the appointment. Right. So there's a lot of variations of free funnels, a lot of variations of straight to booking funnels, and a lot of variations of low ticket buyer funnels. Of all of them, though, my absolute favorite is the low ticket funnel. All right. Because that means as appointment setters, you get to talk to people that were so interested in what you're selling that they already bought something from you. That shows a very high level of intent versus someone who's like, oh, I get a free book. I can kind of like dip my toe in the water, maybe check this out a little bit. Right. And so there's plus and minuses to each one of these funnels, but my least favorite is the free funnel. because what will happen is you will get massive amounts of leads, massive amounts. And they'll all have this free item, and there's going to be a lot of people that were very low intent, or maybe people that don't have the finances, and that's why they're going for the free stuff, right? And then you're going to have, you know, with each one of these funnels, and I'm only talking about 3. There's like 1 or 2 other ones that are out there as far as like webinars and, you know, things like that. But those are the 3 most common ones that I'd say that you guys are going to come across. If you ever come across a company with a wonky kind of funnel, like let me know and I can talk you through like what I would do in that situation. For instance, like not a wonky funnel, but one of the funnels that Luke's team is on, they're doing Instagram shout outs. So they put up a reel with like hey, message us RCA and we'll send you more information, right? And then he has that conversation in IG DMs and transfers that to a phone call and then sets them, right? So there is different kinds of sales funnels, but those are the true 3 ones. I know I said it like 5 times, but it's straight to book and VSL, low ticket buyer lead, and then the free funnel. So Luke, what I would say is more than likely, with what you're doing now, the biggest change that you're going to have is changing your stance of how you're actually speaking to people. Because if you are chasing people to set an appointment versus getting them to chase you, and it's a night and day switch. Like when I started getting people to chase me for the appointment, it felt great. I was like, man, I love this. Like I can get on the phone, ask these people these right questions, and they're begging for an appointment from me rather than me begging them to take an appointment from me. It is a big shift. And generally the appointment setters that are hitting that like 20K a month, all of those have grasped that. All of those people have very much so attached themselves to that idea and taking that stance. So I'm not promising you're going to make 20K a month, obviously, if you change your stance there, but it will make a very big impact in what you're doing now. And that will be the biggest shift getting you closer to 10K a month. Sweet. Adolfo, are you still around in here? What are you doing, man? Let's see. Adolfo's on mute and his camera's off. All right. So Dylan, what kind of an offer are you on?
Yeah, I've only started just a month ago. So it's a career coaching. And by the way, I've been in high ticket for about 2 to 3 years now. Career coaching offer, US based. We help people transition from their job into a data engineering career, or we help existing data professionals upskill and land better paying jobs. That's what we do.
Okay. All right. And what your goal is making 10K a month as well?
Yes, that's right.
All right, cool. And how far away are you from hitting that goal now?
Very fast. I'm getting like a base as well. I've only had one sale because I started last month. One sale for the month there, one sale at the start of this month. It's going really slow. I'm just The reason I joined, I'm really struggling with performance. One question I wanted to get out of the way, just because maybe that might be hindering me, because I'm in Australia and it's US based. I work with my current schedule. I work 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time, Monday to Friday only. Do you think that's going to really prevent me from really reaching that?
3 p.m. to 6 p.m. PST is generally what I have found in my last 7 years as the best answer rate time for an offer like that. Because if these people are currently in a job, what happens is if you're dialing at 3 p.m. PST, well, that means it's 6 p.m. EST, right? And so a lot of your people, if you start at 3 p.m. and go hard between 3 and 6 p.m. on dials during that range, you get a lot higher answer rate by like 10 or 15% generally. So like the time of the day when it's like you should be more specific about like who you're dialing and what you're doing is kind of before that timeline. But when you get from 3 to 6 p.m., you should be like, all right, mega phone dialing time. Like this is what I'm going to spend my next 2 to 3 hours on. It's just straight up dialing. So if you're working 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., I'd say you're in that range. But to be honest, man, like 9 p.m. PST, like if we're going to get a little bit legal with this, like legal FTC regulations are from 8 to 8 based off that person's time zone. So if you're dialing at 9 p.m. PST, that means you're already breaking FTC regulations for people in the PST time zone. And that also means you're very breaking it for people in Eastern Standard, Central, or Mountain Standard.
that makes complete sense, and we have like regulations in place. Like I've looked at the FTC guidelines because I follow Matt Ryder and that. I take a good look at that stuff. So it depends on the state, but we filter by like because we have close, so we also filter by like the area code of the number, and
Yeah.
also we have a time zone. Like it's a custom field. So when I'm hitting that like 8, 9 o'clock range for the 4 different time zones, like I keep in mind, like I know what to call. So I have that in mind, yeah.
All right,
Like
cool.
it's
I was like, bro, I was like, if I got a call
nah,
from a person at 12 o'clock at night, I'd be
like it does happen sometimes. People are like it's 10 o'clock here. Oh shit, sorry. But yeah, I keep an eye on that for sure.
I would probably like, if it was me, I would say 6 or 7 p.m. PST would be the latest I would call. And I would take those like 2 or 3 hours that you're working a little bit later and interject those hours a little bit earlier in your day.
Okay, so I'll wake up early. All
Yeah.
right, so I'll make sure to really 3 to 6 to really time block that off.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get that out of the way. So what I do is because I was on committed coaches before, and I learned that to increase your pickup rate without dialer.io, I have like 7 different numbers, and I just rotate them every $25. That gets me roughly around 10% pickup rate. So that's been working really well. Now it's just skill set. Like I've been going through the course. I joined last week, and I've been going through like bits and pieces. I just don't know where to start, really, because like my performance isn't the best. I really want to get those numbers up.
And so with the offer you're on, what kind of lead magnet do they have?
Yeah, so we do meta ads, so Facebook, Instagram. That we have ones that have been running for months now, some new. We just started a school group, $50 a month. That started last week. We also have YouTube ads as well, and then on the website we have free course downloads.
Okay. All right. So you've got a couple of different lead magnets, which that's a good sign of a good opportunity is if they've
Yeah.
multiple lead magnets and not just one, because then it's not a one fail system. But so like, I guess you're calling what they're opt-ins then?
Yes, and also I forgot to mention TikTok as well. Forgot to mention that, but yeah, opt-ins and the free course sometimes.
Yeah. Personal opinion on TikTok.
Yeah.
It may be different for your company, but I've never seen TikTok ads work well unless it was a low ticket product.
Okay.
Just because it's hard to imagine somebody making 6 figures a year scrolling TikTok all day and seeing ads and opting in through them.
Yeah.
Really, it is a younger type of demographic with TikTok. And so generally it's the age graphic is less than 25 on it actually. And the people under the age 25 that will have like, is your program, I guess, like probably around 10K?
Yeah, we're looking of 10 to 25,
Yeah. So
depending on the avatar. Yeah.
someone under the age of 25 having 10 to 25K laying around to invest is a lower likelihood.
Yeah.
So if you get any type of like able to like wiggle room on like which leads you're calling, I would probably stay away from calling the TikTok leads personally. Now, I could be way off. Maybe the numbers that they're getting and the closes they're getting are really great. So, but just from gut instinct, from what I've seen in the past and like my own company, I wouldn't even run TikTok ads myself unless I was selling something that was like $20. Um, so just a thought there. So it's not
Yep.
like a red flag, it could be potentially, but not a direct red flag. But how many sets in a month did you get last month?
Last month, it wasn't that. I just look at my numbers now. If you give me a second, like I got, it was July. I only had like 23.
23 sets for the month.
Yeah.
Got it. And like, here's where it gets like really mathy. Do you know what your lead to conversion ratio is as far as like how many people you got to answer the phone and how many people you actually set?
No, like I know because I track those numbers. Like I track my pickup rate and stuff every day. But like in terms of like lead to conversion, no, I haven't tracked that at all.
Yeah.
I could definitely add that in to start tracking that.
That would definitely be one piece that's important because when I have that calculator up, you're going to be able to put those metrics in and be able to see off of that as well. You know, Like, do you know what your percentage of answer rate is?
Like you mean the pickup rate when I'm doing outbound dials?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sits around 10%.
Okay. All right. That is a little bit lower. Typically anything above 15% is considered good. Anything lower than 15% is starting to consider on the lower end. So that is the lower end. It's not the end of the world. You don't need to like jump ship off the offer just because of that. It sounds like they're
Yep.
using Dialer.io, so you have local presence. So they're doing things to increase that answer rate.
Oh
What
no, we don't. We don't use Dialer.io. I
don't you-
wish. I wish we would. We use Close. Most people use Close, and then we have because we have such a big outbound team, and then majority of like the outbound set use Bearworks, and I've used Bearworks before. It's dog shit. Like I've seen people's pickup rates; they're rubbish. So that's
And
why
so-
that's why I use this method because I have a higher pickup rate than most people.
Okay. So one thing you said right there is a little bit triggering for me, right? You have a big outbound. How many appointment setters are on the team?
Ah, fuck, we've lost so many. But last time I checked, we had like almost like 20, over 20 setters. And then we
Alright.
had like, I don't know how many closes we have now, man. People are leaving nonstop, left and right. New
Right.
people coming in.
So you have 20 setters, and how much money does the company bring in on a month-to-month base right now?
That's a good question. I actually don't even know. I need to get on that. I think we're doing like around 400 or 500.
400 or 500K a month?
Yeah, I gotta get that. I gotta get that fax. I'll get it to you because like
Okay.
I want to do this calculate thing to calculate if this is the right thing for me.
All right. So look, first, what I want to say is I find it impressive of you, and you should be proud of yourself for the fact that you're taking onus of this problem, saying, "Hey, look, it's a me problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work this. I'm gonna make this work." That's the first key to success right there is taking control of everything possible so you can make the difference rather than relying on other people to make a difference for you. So first off, excellent job on that. The second thing behind it is what's the commission percentage that you get for
Yeah.
cash collected? Is it 5?
Yeah, so this is really good. We don't do cash collected. I was shocked. I was like, well, yeah, really good. It's 3% of revenue collected, and then there's a 2K base USD. So that's
Okay.
really good. I don't have to worry about freaking collecting commissions and that. It's just all up front, which
All
is
right,
really
so
good.
let's just say for easy math and real quick, let's say you were getting 5% commission and you wanted to make 10K a month as a setter and you get a 2K base. Well, 2K base from 10, so that means you only need to make 8K, right? Which means
Yep.
at 5%, you need to cash collect $160,000, just you, so then you can make 10K a month. If they have 20 setters on the team spread out between a $500,000, like there's nobody on the team that's making 10K a month, I'm guessing, right?
No, there are a few, but here's the thing, because there's like 4 or 5 that do inbound, and they're the ones that I see on the board all the time, and they do outbound as well, but it's very little, but they're inbound mainly. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
don't know why that is.
here's what I'd recommend. When you get in a one-on-one with do you have a setter manager or is it?
Yep, pod leader.
Okay, cool. Your pod leader. Your mission is this. Find out how to get onto the inbound team and do whatever you possibly can to get onto that inbound team. Because on that outbound team, having 20 setters like that spread out between a $500,000 a month is going to make it mathematically impossible for you to actually make 10K a month. Right. So that's why I wanted to start out with saying you're doing the right things by taking ownership of the problem, saying, what can I do to improve my skill set? That's the exact right mindset to be in. Right. But when the offer is set up like that, I've seen that before where there's companies that are doing $1 million a month and they have 50 setters. That's not optimized for the setters to actually be making 10K a month. To give you an idea, I have a setter team, Warrior Babe, and I have 20 setters there, and we do just under 4 million a month.
Wow, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not making any sense. I remember I was on a different B2C offer last year, and we had like 5 setters at the time, and we were doing 800 and 900K cash collected with 5, and we don't even do that, and we'd have like 4 times the size. So yeah.
So that's something that when you're in these interviews, in an interview with these companies, there's some companies that do that where they hire a whole lot of setters so they can get this mega crazy squeeze out of their leads. But when they do that, what happens is in the end is that a lot of appointment setters churn and closers churn, which is what you were saying is happening. A lot of them churn because none of them are able to hit their financial goals. And so what happens is the company's actually losing out by not paying their people enough to keep the same people, and they're spending a ton of money on onboarding new people all the time. It costs a lot of opportunity costs for a business to bring on somebody brand new. And so I'd say that their structure is one of let's get a crazy squeeze out of leads and have far more appointment setters than what we need, right? So typically the standard is if you're getting 5% cash collected, what you want is every setter to be equivalent to $100,000 to $200,000 worth of incoming cash, right? So if you're in an interview and they tell you we have 3 setters right now and we're doing around $500,000 a month, oh, that's a good opportunity. They tell you that 20 setters and they're doing $500,000 a month. Ooh, right? So here's the mission. Get in that one-on-one with your manager. What are the actionable steps I can take to get on the inbound team? What things specifically do I have to do to get onto the inbound team? And when I do these things, what's the timeline on me being able to shift into the inbound team? You want to get those very specific answers. And if he doesn't have an answer for you, ask him every single time you see him until you get those specific answers. And if he doesn't have them, well, would you have time to like look at some things and like give me an exact blueprint, a strategy of what I can do to get onto that inbound team, right? Now, what your first goal is to get to the inbound team. The second goal is
Okay.
not achievable to get onto that inbound team if there's not any chance or possibility. The idea then for you would be use this opportunity as a stepping stone onto a next and better opportunity and take what you've learned from it into your next new role. So what I would say is at maximum to spend another 30 to 60 days on that offer. Generally, you want to give an opportunity and when you're on a new team, you want to give them at least 60 to 90 days before you really decide whether this is what you want to do or not. And this is a part of that learning lesson of knowing like, oh, hey, I really need to get onto this inbound team if I want to actually hit my 10K month goal, right? So step 1, get to the inbound team. If you can't get to the inbound team, step 2 is stay on the team you're with until you find another opportunity that's better than the one you're on now.
Okay, got it. I'll make sure to have because we have our pod meeting tomorrow, and I'll make sure to ask him that.
Okay. Is that a
Another
one-on-
thing.
Is that a one-on-one though, or is that with a group?
No, it's a one-on-one.
Okay,
Right.
cool.
So I have it with
Then
him
no
tomorrow. We're supposed to be meeting twice a week, but yeah, we'll get that sorted. Yeah, good thing is now that you brought that up because do you know Hardly Selling? You know
Yes.
that company? Yes. So they manage our account. They took over like 2 months. That's how I got into this account. I knew one of the recruiting person in that team. So he actually manages the whole setting team, the whole one. And so we were talking in Slack, and he said he was just checking in on me, and he said, "Yeah, we'll get you on inbound soon." So he actually mentioned that to me like the other week. So because he has that trust in me, even though I'm not performing. I performed well on another offer we were on previously. So I'll make sure to bring that up with my pod leader, but I'll make sure to chase that up with Ryan too, because he's the one that ultimately makes that call.
Cool. All right, and you know, one thing is to help you get that role is how many dials a day are you doing right now?
200 to 250. I don't double dial. I just do single dial. That's what I was taught by Matt. Don't double dial people. So I just stuck with that, and that's still got me a decent pickup rate.
Matt, who told you that?
Matt Ryder, like
Really?
don't double dial. Yeah.
That's interesting because I had a meeting with him like last week with Warrior Babe, and he was like, "You need to double dial everybody."
And that might have been just the offer because I was on committed coaches. We were just using close. So I don't know, maybe because it wasn't using dial IO, but yeah, it works. I just didn't want to.
I would extremely, extremely, extremely recommend to double dial every single person because for 2 reasons. The first one is if you ever called like a friend or a relative and they didn't answer and you're like, "Oh, you punk," and you like called them right again, like, I know you're not doing anything. You better answer the phone. Like, have you ever done that before?
Yeah.
It's that same thing. And it's also when somebody sees that number come up twice like that, they're like, "Oh man, this person's really trying to get in touch with me." The last reason is this: if somebody's phone is on do not disturb, when you make that first dial and the answering service starts to pick up, if you hang up and you dial them a second time, it breaks through the do not disturb feature. So that's why it's super, super important to
Okay.
double dial every single time. So that is one thing that I would recommend to switch out there is to get a double dial in for every person that you call.
Okay, got it. I'll start doing that from today then, because I'm about to start work after this.
Right on. What's up, Dan Brown? How you doing, man?
What's up, Matt? What's up, guys? Good to see you.
I'm standing like I'm sitting right about where we first.
I was gonna say that looks familiar to me. Something looks
Yeah.
familiar there. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Right on, crew. Sweet. We got 12 minutes left here. Let's try to review a little bit of Luke's call here while we've got a couple of minutes. And then if anybody has any questions for me, go ahead and drop those in the chat while we listen to this. 24-minute set. How come it was 24 minutes, Luke?
Well, so this guy no-showed, and I guess the reason why it was 24 minutes was because he was a very like scattered person. So I tried to go slow and just get a lot of tie downs of like, you are ready to make a change, you do want to do this, and he still ended up no-showing.
Yeah.
So what I'd be looking for feedback on specifically is like how you would have implemented kind of like the stance that you're talking about, or like the positioning with this guy.
Okay. And two things here right off the bat is, were you saying you are ready to make a change, or were you saying, are you ready to make a change as a question?
I don't remember, like on the call.
Yeah, because if I'm like, you're ready to make a change, this is gonna be life-changing for you, this is gonna be great for you, you're gonna love this, like they're like, oh, it's not their words. What's powerful is their words. So are you really finally ready to make a change in your life? Yes, I am. And do you feel like this is the thing that can really actually change your life to get you towards the goals that you're actually looking for? Yes, I do. All right, great. And let's get you on a call with one of our coaches. That's so much more powerful of them using their words. What really, to be honest, like this might sound rude, but what you have to say is almost worthless. In their eyes, they don't know who you are. They've never seen you before in their life. They've got nothing to associate you with. So for you to like label them and say, this is going to be the best thing since sliced bread for you. I know you, after talking to you for 24 minutes so well, that this is going to be great for you. You want to get them to say these things. Their words are the only things that are powerful. When you can switch that out too, that will also start to change your stance and operation there of like angling this towards it's something that they want from you and they're chasing you now instead of you chasing them. Right. The second thing on this is, it's actually funny because the offer you're on, when I worked with Cole Gordon, this is where I pulled this metric from. I actually pulled it from all the businesses that he was working with, including RCA. And I found the bell curve show ratio, where generally when an appointment gets a set call gets longer than 16 minutes, it increases the likelihood of them no showing by a lot. So I would very much so recommend to never let a call run longer than 16 minutes. The reason why is because it can turn into a little bit of a therapy session, and you don't have the actual solution to give to this person to actually change their life, because all you're giving them is an appointment. Right. So they get off the call with you and they're like, oh, that was such a great call with Luke. I feel so much better about all my problems and my pain and my issues now. Like, and now they're in a lot more complacent state. Right. And so there's this level of healthy tension. Right. They do it in TV shows. They do it in movies where, at the end of like season 1, the last episode, there's this big cliffhanger of this thing that happens, like, so-and-so dies, or like so-and-so looks like they're going to be dead. And like, you don't know if they died or not. And you're like, oh my gosh, I had to wait until next year for this. And all year long, you're thinking about it. And as soon as that next episode comes out, you're there watching it the day it comes out. Right. That's a healthy level of tension. Right. Because there's tension around things that you don't know. And so that's why it's important to also not info dump in the set call. If you show up in the set call and you're info dump, you're releasing all that tension. And it's like when someone asks you a question like, and how much does this cost? And what about this? And what about that? Oh, that's a really great question. That's the exact reason why we give people a meeting with our fitness mentors here. Or that's the reason why we give people with a meeting with a specialist, or a meeting with our coaches, so we can give them that exact answer to that question based off their situation. So I don't want to give you any false information, but let's just figure out these last couple of things together to make sure we can actually help you in the first place. Right. So when you run this call to 24 minutes, it's like you kind of displayed that the main character in the TV show doesn't die and he's actually okay. And then all that tension's relieved, and then you've got no reason to go back for season 2 when it comes out. All that tension is gone then. So there's a healthy level of tension that you want to leave there for the end of this call. It's kind of like your season 1 of the series, and a closer is season 2 of the series.
Cool. Makes sense.
Hey, Derek. Hey, Derek, this is Luke. I'm calling you from Cole Gordon's Remote Closing Academy.
Hi, I'm Skinner currently.
Oop.
Other than that, no.
And just had a few minutes, so I thought I'd get in to get more information on how we help people transition into a closing academy.
Oh, hi.
Hey, I saw that you just opted in to get more information on how we help people transition into high ticket remote closing. And just had a few minutes, so I thought I'd give you a ring to see if I can maybe help. Is now a bad time?
No, it's okay. I just was still watching a video that was on here, but other than that, no.
I figured I'd give you a call to maybe save you some time. When you came across the app, what stuck out that had you put your information in?
Well, it's just the right timing, I guess, in my life for something different.
Hmm.
Something new, something different. Good timing, I guess, is about it. I'm interested in something like that, so.
Okay,
Just switching jobs kind of currently, locations I live and everything else, so I'm kind of transition.
got it. Interesting. What do you got going on at the moment that you're switching out of?
Got it. Right on. That makes sense. So why do you say right now is such a good time for you to do something new? Right? When he gives you that bit of ammunition right there, that would have been a lot better for objection handling at the end of this call. Right? So like finances and timing are typically the 2 most common objections a setter will get in the set call out of the park right then and there. So when he's like, oh yeah, now it's just a really perfect timing. Oh, well, what makes you say it's such a perfect timing right now for you to do something new? Oh, well, because this and because this and because of this. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And then you get to the end of the call. If the guy's like, I don't really know if I want to call, like if I want to take action right now. Well, early in the call, you told me that this is the perfect timing because you're this, this, and this. Like what changed in the last 5 minutes? Right? Is there something else that you're thinking now that you feel like maybe this isn't the right timing now? Right?
Property management.
Okay.
I've been doing that for a long time.
How long have you been doing it for?
15 plus years.
Okay. Just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see what you went for there.
Yes.
I see what you went for there when he said 15 years ago. Not like normally I would say like in a playful voice like that when someone says, "Oh, for the last 15 years," like, "Oh, okay, got it. So not that long, huh?" Right? Like I'll kind of do a playful voice there if you're gonna try to like land that joke of what they've been doing is like for a very long time, and then got it. And why have you been doing this for so long? What makes you looking? Why are you looking for a change now after doing this thing for the last 15 years?
I think parts of me could be good at it and parts of me are opposite. So I just thought I'd check it out, I guess.
All right.
When he says, "Oh, and like, some parts about this for me are good and some parts like kind of hold me back." The idea here is people love to talk about the negative things. It's very easy to get somebody to be like, "Oh, and like, what didn't you like about that?" They will be able to tell you 100 things about the thing that they didn't like, versus it's a lot harder for them to find things to talk about the reasons why they liked something so much. So when someone gives you that like tree branch there of like, "Oh yeah, like there's things that it sounds like I kind of like this, but there's other things I don't really like about this." Oh, what don't you really like about this? Right? You'd want to lean into that first, just so you know. Just kind of like a principle overall. Generally, all the time, people will always like to talk about their pain and problems and issues far more than they'll want to talk about the things that they liked about the other things they've tried.
Well, for you, after doing property management for 15 years, what's the main reason why you're switching to something new right now?
Financial reasons, and I'm sick of working for everybody else and making them rich and me not. Pretty much.
Okay. Is that the main financial reason?
Yeah, basically.
Got it. And like for the last 15 years, has it been a like financially tight spot for you for the last 15 years then? Right? That's something that I would recommend to get clear on there too, because he's probably going to tell you, well, when I first started, it wasn't too bad, but it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse over the years, and it's brought me to the point where now I'm looking for something new.
Gotcha. So you're making the company rich, but you weren't getting compensated for it? Is what you're saying?
I'm not. I just, yeah, I'm taking advantage of it. Seems like a lot.
Oh. Okay. Well, when did you draw the line in the sand and say, you know what, like, it's time for something new?
I felt that way for a long time. I just haven't had the opportunity to, or haven't found the opportunity that, you know, I've needed or whatnot. So I'm just kind of looking around, trying to find something new. Maybe, you know, if I don't, I can keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm just hoping to find something better.
Is that an option?
Got it. When you say find something better, like, what do you mean exactly? Like, what would make something a 10 out of 10 for you? And they'll probably say, well, financial for one, like not being taken advantage of by my company for two. And like, he'll tell you like all those things in a line. What's up, Stubbs?
Yeah, just had a thought. Luke, the last statement you made, did he say, no, that's not right?
Just now?
Yeah, it was just a few seconds ago.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I heard it.
And say, you know what, like, it's time for something new.
I felt that way for a long time. I just haven't had the opportunity to, or haven't found the opportunity that, you know, I've needed or whatnot. So I'm just kind of looking around, trying to find something new. Maybe, you know, if I don't, I can keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm just hoping to find something better.
Yeah. So he said maybe there, right? Like, so if he found something better, he would move. But if he couldn't find something better, he would just stay doing what he's doing.
Gotcha. For some reason, I thought he said, no, that's not right. So my, you know, what I was going to say is invalid now. So I guess never mind.
Okay. All right, cool. Sweet. Well, I got 1 minute here, crew, before my next meeting that I have at top of hour. So if anybody has any questions or need anything from me, drop me a message in school. Also, I'm going to have those new calculators out this week. So I'll probably do a live training. I'll probably announce it 24 hours beforehand. We'll probably all jump on Zoom here. I'll get it recorded as well, so it'll be in the school group in case you miss it. But let's go ahead and crush this week. If you guys need anything from me, give me a holler in school. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.